Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to present my slide on enhancing student engagement through questioning strategies. The purpose of this slideshow is to explore questioning strategies that will improve student engagement in the classroom. There are 4 questioning strategies. These strategies include recall, skills, strategic thinking, and extended thinking. Recall. This is the basic level of knowledge on the topic students should be able to remember. And they should be able to remember this fairly easily. Questions would include what is the capital of the United States and how many states are in the United States. These are simple fact-based questions that are easily regurgitated. Skills. Students should have an understanding of the concepts and be able to use their skills. These kinds of questions would be, how can you navigate using a map? And can you tell me the geography and terrain of a given area? There are differences in these levels where the first level was more so a basic regurgitation. This one is more intensive and requires them to use the information they have from those basic questions to answer larger questions. Our next level is strategic thinking. This requires a strategic level of thinking and planning by the student, as the name would suggest. Some of the questions would include, how would you teach someone else to read a map? And how would you determine the jobs of a region based on a map? These questions become more complex as the student gains higher and higher levels of knowledge. And finally, our final level and our most complicated level that shows the most understanding is the extended thinking. This is, as I said, the highest level of knowledge for students where they can make connections and pull information from several sources. Questions for this type of thinking include, how does the geography of an area correlate to the job market of that area for its citizens? And how does being able to read a map help you in a real world scenario? Some sample questions for recall would be, what is a map? How many states are there in the United States? How many countries are there in North America? How many continents are there in the world? And what are the 4 cardinal directions? Excuse me. Some questions for skills would be, can you use a legend to help you read a map? Can you navigate using a map? Can you use a legend to find the capital cities? Can you tell me the geography and terrain of a given area? And how do you use cardinal directions when navigating? Continuation of our questions, the 5 questions for strategic thinking would be, or 5 examples of questions for strategic thinking would be, how would you teach someone else to read a map? How would you determine the jobs of a region based on a map? How would you find a particular city or town using a map? How would you confirm your conclusion about the jobs in a given area is accurate? And how would you prepare for a trip based on the geography of an area? And then our final section is extended thinking. These 5 questions, or at least examples, could be, how does the geography of an area correlate to the job market of that area for its citizens? How does being able to read a map help you in a real world scenario? Why is the geography so different across the continent of North America? Why does having knowledge of the world geography benefit you in the real world? What is something you think should be added to maps to make them easier to read? Moving on to assessments. There are 2 primary assessment types. You have formative assessments and summative assessments. Formative assessments are assessments that you will give, or they're questions that you will ask while you're teaching the lesson to see how well your students are understanding these questions and to further guide the speed and knowledge that you'll be covering in the lessons, seeing if you need to go back to cover another area or if you're okay to move on. And then your summative assessments include using similar questions, but as a way to measure students' understanding and knowledge after the lesson is completed. So it's important to remember that your formative assessments happen while you're teaching it, and your summative assessments should be happening after the lesson is completed. Use of technology. In my classroom, I would use my smart board to project a map and explain the concepts to my students in great detail because I can use it to draw and other such things. The technology, like my smart board, allows me a lot more freedom. I can access and show them videos very easily. I will show my students videos of different areas and allow them to search for the information on their state all by themselves using their laptops that are available in our room. I would also incorporate my use of technology to include games like Kahoot or Quizly with my students' ability to add a gaming element that will help to reinforce their learning ideas. In conclusion, asking effective questions can help to better engage students in learning and improve their understanding. This can also create effective thinking and problem solving skills for the student involved. By using questions like this and generating interest in topics, I can create a more positive classroom environment for my students. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a nice day.